candidate, very calm, very measured in his words here. Gina Loudon, Niger Innis, on which of those sort of establishment characters wins out. What do you think, Gina?
Hearing a lot about Dr. Carson. He's doing great things. I'm still hearing Ted Cruz, and of course you've got Trump.
Yeah, you do. Now, those are three outside-the-box candidates. You think about it. Ted Cruz is a senator in Niger, but he likes to even fashion himself a renegade senator. I think his critics would readily agree with that.
Oh, he is.
But do you get a sense, Niger, that someone like a Carson is going to be a kinder, gentler, maybe more palatable, I don't know, outside-the-box candidate?
I think there's no question about it. I think that the American people are not stupid, and they listen to Dr. Carson. They see an interview like that was very well done and long, and he was able to give measured responses. But they know he's going to shake things up if he were to become president of the United States. But at the same time, they don't see the bluster. They don't see the hyperbole. They see a very measured tone. And so it's kind of like the kinder, gentler disruptor. But they do know that Ben Carson would dramatically change things in Washington, D.C. If he were fortunate enough to get the nomination. And if he got the nomination, I have no doubt he would be president of the United States.
Really? You know, Gina, the rap against him is he's almost too calm, too measured, too adult-like. By that, I think he gets this sort of no-drama Obama criticism that the president is often faulted for not getting more agitated, for not getting in more people's faces, when in fact we need more drama. We need guys or women who are going to get very, very nasty when they have to be. What do you think?
Well, we've always heard the adage, and I've seen it to be true, at least from a psychological perspective, that it does take a strong man to be gentle and a gentleman to be strong. And I'm not sure a little civility is a bad thing as long as it's not compromise under the guise of civility, which I think is what we've seen a lot of. We're told we have to have a statesman, and what they really mean is they want a compromiser.
No, that's a very, very good argument. But you know, when we straddle that fence between, you know, outside the petri dish candidates, Niger, and then their temperament, the temperament invariably does come up, like how effective a President Carson would be in dealing with all these crises if he was this calm. Like a doctor like that I would love, because he would say, Neil, I think it's a good idea for you to lose weight, but you don't have to. You don't have to. I like doctors like that. But you know what I'm saying? As president, would that be a good or bad quality? What do you think?
Well, you know, we don't see Dr. Carson behind closed doors.
Absolutely.
When the chairman of the Joint Chiefs busts into the Oval Office and said, Mr. President, you've got to deal with this crisis now. I mean, we don't know what that reaction would be. So I suspect that Dr. Carson would ramp up the energy, if you will, in the appropriate time and place. But, you know, I want to get back to Gina's excellent and, you know, really, really solid point, which is the American people have fallen in love with Dr. Carson because keep in mind how he burst on the scene. He burst on the scene by very calmly,
yes, I
mean, just totally undermining step by step, like he was performing surgery on Barack Obama's socialism at the prayer breakfast. He obliterated Obama in front of his face. I mean, the American people had not seen that, guys, since Mitt Romney's first debate with Obama.
No,
and
you're
that's
right.
why they fell in love.
It obviously surprised the president and his entire staff. But Gina, to you as a voter, and obviously you have a lot of Tea Partiers here, do they want someone more in your face or just someone who's just outside the political spectrum, period?
I think you make a great point, Neil. If you look at Dr. Carson and Donald Trump, of course, you know, these are two very wealthy men. I heard Dr. Carson's net worth, and it's astonishing amount of money. But that's because the voters have figured out that it isn't about rich versus poor. It really is about us versus they, the establishment. And I think the fact that people have caught on to that, and then Ted Cruz being the one who's always been willing to take on the establishment. So I think that an outsider is essential for real conservatives today, and I think any of the three of those are very viable.
Good insights.
I wouldn't rule out Carly Fiorina either.
No, another outside the box. You're right. We've got a lot of those. Thanks, guys, very, very much. Back to this ongoing